All right, hello. How's everyone doing this evening? Hope everyone's having a great Saturday, great weekend so far. It's good to be back for yet another stream. We'll keep it relatively simple, back to basics tonight after the last few doing all sorts of ridiculousness. And we're just going to work on a snap build tonight. Hopefully make some progress on this Delanza Sol. But like I said, hope everybody's having a great day so far. I'm going to jump into the chat, say hello, and all that good stuff, and then get back to the building. Oh yeah, but before that, a couple quick things. One, if you enjoy the stream, please do hit that like button. It helps more people see the stream. Really appreciate it. Appreciate your support. And number two, we do have a sale going on this weekend. 20% off select items. I think there's 130, 150, 180. I forget how many items, but a whole bunch of stuff on sale. You can use that code SEL0725 for that 20% off. The link to the collection should be at the top of the page if you head over to mechawarehouse.com. And yeah, so let's jump in the chat. Say hello. What's up, Wolfpack, Dylan Dull, Butter Knuckles, Infra Fan, Matthew Mahoney, Studio WD, Thomas Christmas, what's up? Atomic Etrigan, what's going on? 40, Go Zero, Person roaming the internet, Weeks K, how are you? Timothy, FTL Drive, Recta, Gino Stein, what's up? Michael, what's up? Rob Sadler, Baka ZCO, Gojira. Today wasn't great, but hopefully tomorrow works out better. Hope tomorrow's better for you then. Dylan Dull, what's up? Charizaka-kun got me on the restock this week. Had to complete the set. Have you built the other two kun so far? I think that's everybody. And yeah, so we'll jump into the building. Looks like YouTube enabled some sort of new feature, this whole top fan thing, these little crowns in the chat. That's something new. I think there's a way to turn it off. I didn't realize it was a thing until the stream was already running tonight. Curious, because we'll see how that goes tonight and whether I should try to figure out how to shut those off or not. Otherwise, what's everybody up to? You guys building along tonight? Working on something else? Just chilling out? Something crazy? What's up? It's a Gundam. Hey Heathcliff, what's going on? Alright. So where was I? I think barely chipped away at the arms last time because we had just finished doing paint prep. And one of these days I'll actually do some painting again. Meantime, C12 times 2 here, one for each side. Just got to work. Hope everyone's having an awesome night. What's up, Nobite? How are you? Building HG Reborn's Gundam. Still working on HG Psycho Mark II. Nice. Kind of good to be back to just snap building tonight, I think. I feel like my backlog, and more importantly my work in progress backlog of kits that are snapped and waiting for stuff are creating more stress than they should. They want to snap build, then custom paint. Cool. Stay. Alright. Hey, what's up, Phil? A couple of models that got damaged. Cool. What kind of damage? How'd they get damaged? Start a new build tonight. Just don't know what. Painted another miniature today. I might do another tomorrow and work on my Revenger kit. That's cool. I really want to try painting minis again. There's a lot of things I want to do. Nowhere near enough time to do it all. I wonder if I'll ever get that time again. You know if the MG ground gun is going to be re-released anytime soon. I'm not sure. I haven't really followed the list. It feels like that one comes around every so often. So hopefully. I'm also hoping that a lot of stuff that has been printed for a while does come around again soon too. Seems like a lot of the reprints have been the same reprints lately. Finally cracked the PG Strike Freedoms, so taking a huge amount of space in the backlog pile. I bet D-Man, welcome. So it's just as a climber decided my model area was a good place, so a couple planes and a tank got knocked off. That's rough. Supernova, heavy arms, cool, Timothy. What's up, Robert? How are you? How's everybody been enjoying their summer too? Anybody do anything fun and summery yet? Could have been worse though. It could have been more. Sure, it can almost always be worse, or the damage could be worse. Customizing a few of these horror balls. Nice simple build, cool. Weather was fairly nice today, a little warm. Super hot here, yeah. It's been hot in general. Like yesterday was relatively cool. And today wasn't completely horrible, but I did get outside a bit, spent a little bit of time in the sun, and it was kind of brutal. So losing a few pounds, there you go. Although if it's pure sweat pounds, I don't know, do they count? They're gonna come back. Most of my time has been spent training my manager, then I'm just so spent when I get home I don't want to do anything. I feel that. I totally feel that, right? I got the job and then doing warehouse stuff and the dojo, and I've got enough things pulling me in different directions that the only reason I'm not collapsing exhausted most of the time is just the adrenaline carrying me from one thing to the next. 93 here today in Nebraska. I don't know what exactly it was today, but it was pretty warm here. I want to say it was low 90s maybe. Took my girlfriend out for her birthday last night. She got to let loose for the first time in a while. She got hardcore hammered hangover today. She said worth it. It's funny. About 93 degrees here today. Felt triple digits today. We had a weather impact day, as the news like to call it. I feel like I've seen a lot of like heat advisories or whatever. Turn 42, the answer to life, the universe, and everything. I hear those hangovers get worse as you get older too, so not a ton of personal experience there, but like triple digits today. We had weather. Oh, I already read that one. I'm trying to get out more too. I've been trying to get my quote-unquote steps in the last week or so. I realized I could probably walk a little bit more, so it's causing me to experience that heat a little bit more. This morning it wasn't too bad when I went for a little walk before the day kind of got going. Hey, Velocidad, what's up? What a great Saturday night. Hope you're having a good evening. Spent most of the day outside, mowed the lawn in the morning, took care of the animals, and spent the afternoon at the lake. That's nice. Did some mowing myself today. Let's see. Had to mow. The grass was so long I had to mow twice. It's always fun. So far this summer, my family drove from the Detroit area to Savannah to have my son in the Savannah Bananas baseball camp. And went to Florida, hit Legoland, and then drove back. Cool. That must be a decent drive. I wonder, Michigan to Florida's probably, I don't know if that's shorter or the same or longer than driving from here would be. Like a 2 or 3 day drive maybe, down to Georgia. What's up, Donald Clark? Swim through the humidity today was not pleasant at all. Yeah, the humidity will get you. Just hope it's not this hot next weekend when I have to stand and like gun and paste pop-up. Came back to collect ourselves, went camping in our pop-up for a week. Cool. Just wanted to go to Legoland. I don't know if anybody's been to multiple Legolands. I don't think they're all created equally. Went to the New York Legoland as part of our vacation last summer. And I don't think it was as good as what people made it sound like it should have been. The Florida one probably bigger, better, something? Or are they all the same? Love to go to so long as the ground isn't littered with blocks. Yeah, it's all the attractions are things like that, like the walking through a big section of Lego bricks barefoot. Saying they are all built the same. No, I guess not. And the Florida one is where it's at. I'll have to keep that in mind. I think another Florida vacation is in the cards at some point in the future. It's all been a minute since I've gotten to watch a stream. How's everyone? What's up, Ravage? How are you? Alright, so this will go. Right, C5. It's like Disneyland versus Disney World versus Euro Disney. Probably. I've only been to the one, so I don't know. I just know it was kind of disappointing. Thanks for the sub. Antosenorea. Probably completely butchered that one. Alright, C5. Pretty long. The day we went there ended up being thunderstorms. They shut the park down and got past to come back and went back the next morning and pushed back our drive by a few hours. Well, it's cool that you had the option to do that. Thunderstorms are no fun at an amusement park. I'll still remember, it was like 2019, 2018. It's back, I think, pre Mecha Warehouse. Or if Mecha Warehouse existed, it was still like hallway or something. It might not have existed. We went down and did a Florida vacation, you know, a little bit of Disney, some Universal, some SeaWorld. The lesson learned was that we should have added a day for SeaWorld until the second day there, because I feel like if you like coasters, at least there's more. They got a decent number of good coasters there, and we didn't get to do like half of them, I think, because we had a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and it just kind of completely killed the day for us. It was really frustrating because they had some good ones there. But you can't really do much about that, I guess. I think the other lesson learned in general about amusement park focused vacations is to just add spice to the roller coaster. Sure, it can add some uniqueness to your ride, I suppose, if you get so lucky. It's got to insulate the roller coaster car or whatever. It's all good. Rubber wheels or something. You'll be fine. It's the worst that could happen. But more days for a given park than you think you need. Trying to pack a park into one day kind of stinks. It's nicer when you have 2 or 3 or whatever days that you can kind of revisit the rides that are really, really good. End the day early some days if you need to, you know, not be like making a work project out of it to try to get the whole park in one day. Going to California, you're going to do a theme park tour, so a day aside for each one, 2 for Disney, half a day for Universal Studios. There are like 6 plus theme parks down in the LA area. Are they? How do those ones compare to the full? Because like Universal, is in Orlando, and you know Disney World's in. Isn't Disney World bigger than Disneyland? Be Saturday, just got done with dinner. What's up, Real Time 88? How are you? Hey, Artie, what's going on? Disney World less than Disneyland. Is Disneyland better than Disney World? Doing well. Thunderstorm outside, but doing good. Disney World is like 8 rides, hella shops. Honestly, I don't know if I ever want to go back to Disney again. I think if we go back on a Florida trip, it's going to be because of my daughter. Because I think she's going to be into the Disney princesses and all that stuff. And if we did do Disney World, I think the park to do which one? There's 2. I feel like MGM is pretty good, and Animal Kingdom, that's a newer park, that one's decent. So Disney World is bigger than Disneyland, just the fact it's made up of 4 parks and 2 water parks. Busch Gardens on the East Coast was fun. Which one you do, Timothy? Isn't there's one in Virginia and there's one in Florida? I don't know if there's any more. Virginia. Cool, you do that recently? How was you had a good time there? Any recommendations on things to hit while there or avoid? Like there's always the ride that's like, it was like 30 years ago. Okay. I went to that Busch Gardens, I don't think it was 30 years ago. I was probably like 12, so it was more like 25 years ago or something. What's up, John Ventura? I remember it being good. But I also wasn't into coasters yet when I did that. There are a lot of parks. We used to go to a lot of parks in my youth. I feel like I went to a decent number of them, but I wasn't really into roller coasters until I was older. And I, retrospectively wish I was into coasters when I went to those parks, because looking for just rides and roller coasters. Cedar Point was amazing. Okay, keep that in mind. Where's that one at? That's like Ohio or something, maybe? The Loch Ness Monster and VA is still an amazing ride, and they just retracted so a lot smoother than it used to be. I remember seeing that one when I was a kid, and I want to go on it as an adult, because I definitely didn't go on it as a kid. I remember T-Cups being fun, though it was like 10 at the time. Hey Rodrigo, what's up? Like bumper cars in general can be fun. Knott's Berry Farm and SoCal is a nice mix of rides, attractions, restaurants. Real restaurants, not shit burger joints dressed up. Does anyone trust wooden coasters still? I mean, they're still making wooden coasters. When we went to Hershey, there was a hybrid steel wooden coaster that they was relatively recent. It's like a remake of an old one. It's in Sandusky, Ohio. Right next to it is a water park and a ton of water slides. It's cool. Just fine to use a park from Encino Man. Okay, B6 and B7. California made everyone take down the wooden ones. Really? I mean, I definitely prefer steel coasters over wooden. I'm more into speed and drops and turns than I am whatever it is that make people like wooden ones. Smooth ride. I don't like bumpy. Just got home 1 hour ago. The launcher died today. Mechanical failure in the engine. Looks like it lost compression, so I'll be busy tomorrow and Monday with it. That's rough. Sorry to hear. I had some fun with my truck last week into this week. Last week I had a day where both my headlights were at the same time. Got the bulbs replaced to find one of them dead again this week. Turned out it wasn't actually dead, just a corroded socket. So thankfully it was a easy fix. So the wood ones were like 60 years old here. Gotcha. Hope it wasn't at night. Oh, it was at night. I got to drive home. I didn't realize they were dead till I got to the dark part of the ride home either. My high beams, thankfully, were good. But it was a little bit sketchy, and being a conscientious person made it hard because I kept trying to turn my high beams off to not blast people in the face as I was driving by in the dark, which then caused people to, I think, yell out their windows at me, so I can't win. That's most of the time failed because of that bad connection, either by rust or being loose. Okay. My truck's like 15 years old. I'm just glad it wasn't like some sort of electrical failure that required a bunch of money. Love wooden roller coasters. They have always been my favorite to ride. Yeah, I don't like the bumpiness. So Wildcat's Revenge at Hershey wasn't bad. That's a hybrid. Wooden steel. Don't like blast people either, but you need to see it with headlights being off. Yeah, it's true. I didn't realize, because I'd never used them, I had the fog lights too I could have turned on. That would have been a good compromise maybe. But it's behind me now. I like that you risk death to stay polite. I do most of the time I fix myself unless it requires certain tools I don't have or deep assemble due to me living in an apartment complex. Certainly makes it harder to work on a car. But the only thing I do myself in my truck these days is light bulbs, except for these, because when both of them were out I figured something bigger could be happening, so I took it to the shop to get looked at. Instead of just unlucky, you know. Used to drive a 2016 Ram for work to replace headlights required disassembling the grill and moving the housing to get to the bulb. That's rough. Only wooden coaster no is eating cannonball. That thing is sketchy as heck. Six Flags Darien Lake has a wood roller coaster. A lot of them still do, I think. I know Hershey had a couple. They had one that was a really old one. I think they're all pretty old, to be fair. They had a set of racing wooden coasters, I think. Racing coasters. It's a 2005 Impala I had like 10 years ago. Pretty sure the thing is still alive and running. The car never broke on me with the friend I sold it to. What's up, Blasphemy Builds? All is well. Things are good here. Hope things are well with you as well. A lot of use of the word well. All right. Probably. Let me just finish these two pieces here and then do the first draw of the night. We're giving away an HG Rigazy tonight. Lost my alternator on a back row at night in L3 F-150. I had some years ago. It went into limp mode and barely had lights to crawl back home within the dark. Yeah, that's rough. Gotta pull the flashlight, the spare flashlight out of the glove box and use it. Exactly. All right. Oh, and then the shoulder stuff would be next. I had a 4D cell Maglite as a headlight once when I was a teen. Yeah, that's rough. I got like one of the little ones in the glove box, right? Not dissimilar to this one here that I keep on the bench in case I need an extra light to find something on the floor, primarily, and just to have something in case you're stuck in the dark and you need to troubleshoot something. Engineer will climb a mountain of wrenching screw mechanic. I've been turning wrenches for 22 years. Oh man. Okay, so let's figure out this first draw of the night here. Okay, I got a good one. So let's do a number between 10 and 600 since we've kind of transitioned a little bit talking cars. Let's talk what was everybody's first car? How bad was it? 10 to 600. What was your first vehicle? One number per person. Do not delete or change your number. We only ship to U.S. addresses. You must be present to win, and your answer to the question and the number have to be in the same comment for it to be valid entry. What's up, Barry? Yeah, 10 to 600. And what was your first vehicle? I had a what year was it? It was a Ford Windstar. It was my first ride. First car yet? It's cool. Hold out as long as you can. Cars are money pits. Okay, 8, 4, 5, and 6. It's a typical security question, my man. No one knows who you are, though. I'm the one who's hurting myself over here. I shouldn't have answered, but nobody knows who most of you guys are. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. 4, 5, 6. Nerd 10, yeah. Enter your social security number and answer your mother's maiden name. Aerostar, the boxy one before the Windstar came out. Yeah, they like transitioned or something. One of my friends in high school, his first car was an Aerostar. Or he doesn't drive just a set of Hot Wheels. There you go. Speaking of Hot Wheels, I drive by this car multiple times per week. It's always parked in this one place, and it's got like a color shift paint job that, you know, changes color depending on the angle you look at it from, which is kind of crazy to see a color paint job like that on a real vehicle. Those are usually wraps and real vehicles. If done as a paint job, those are both cool and expensive. It could be a wrap. I haven't looked at it up close. I just know the fact that its color shifts is just kind of crazy. I didn't think anybody did that in real life. Like, the next best thing would be for it to change color in the rain, you know? What was the color of that car? I think it was blue, but it could have been red. Been doing it for years, just hilariously expensive. Well, it's even funnier just to see that car parked in a parking lot of an apartment complex. Then you think there'd be more useful things to spend your money on than a color changing car. If you're not just throwing money around for the sake of throwing money around. Color shifting paint job. Listen, supporting it by buying plastic. There you go. Yeah, buy some color shift paints for your Gundam, man, not your car. Phase shift cars. Cushion paints are a thing for models. I've been doing it the lazy way. Yeah, they are. I know Vallejo has a line. We don't carry that. Splash had some. Display had some. Couldn't you blend with Minovsky particles? I love kidding for a car that let me phase through traffic. I think if you have enough mass and you drive fast enough, you can phase through traffic. At least once. I don't know about doing it again. I don't really recommend it. Oh, it's like everything is edible once. Yeah, pretty much. I haven't touched the MG Blitz I got last year, Thanksgiving, from Mecha Warehouse, because I want to paint it as if it's getting out of his Mirage Colloid Invisible Coat, but need to make the whole thing. Is that like how every ship is a Minesweeper once? A car I see occasionally driving around South Jersey has a license plate that says Epion. It's a late 80s beat to hell Camaro. That's cool. I once saw a red car, I don't know what the make or model was, that had a Synergy license plate. Driving down the highway here in New Hampshire. Don't recall if it was a New Hampshire plate or not. Ask Buckaroo Bonsai how that works out. I think BMW has a prototype that you can change the color of your vehicle. Forget if it's a 3 LEDs or an e-ink type of thing, but it looks interesting. That's pretty crazy. That might actually be useful if you could change your color with a push of a button, but that would be stupid expensive, I think. Use color shifting paint as panel liner. That'd be interesting. Paint purple, no one will see it. Alright, let's call time. Let's see if we have a winner. Could do designs too, it's pretty neat. That's cool. It sounds like a concept car thing. Was that ever made available? Sounds like something Batman would use, or James Bond. I could see James Bond wanting a car you could change the color of. Okay. 10 to 600 was the range. Time is called. I think I saw as a Gundam car plate was once at MSN 06 in a green Super BRZ, some Xeon iconography around in Orlando. That's cool. 195. And do we have a winner? I don't see a winner. I'll let you guys confirm. If that's the case, we will draw again in a little bit. Concept like one-off for some uber wealthy knob. Actually, yeah, James Bond, 007. Like the show today. Happy Saturday, everyone. What's a big deal? But yeah, I think they were seeing how viable it was. Seems like it'd be super expensive to fix. Yeah, probably. It seems like the kind of thing that you would want to demonstrate to get attention for your brand, and maybe shows up in a car in 20 years. But I don't think most people have the money to pay for something as ridiculous as that. Maybe if you're buying like a Ferrari or Lamborghini or something ridiculous, and you have that ridiculous car money. Turkish Red Metallic always wanted to cosplay this 3x faster. I feel like most BMWs are still within normal range for at least some people. If you're making maybe a double income household, or you're a lawyer or something, engineer, making decent money, but like a supercar, you gotta be definitely making ridiculous money. Or something. Cheap stands for just empty every pocket. Unless I could afford a supercar, I would just reinvest the money into my hobbies. Yeah, I feel like there are cheaper cars that would be a luxury, and then I would take the rest of that money and spend it on something else. What's up, Esquizoide? What's going on? Trip to Hawaii or Japan, right? Well, yeah, I'd rather that or buy some land or something somewhere where I could set up a nice vacation home or something away from everything, or yeah, hobby stuff. How long it would be before Gundam kits will feature LED color changing panels. It's actually probably closer than it being there for cars. I mean, they got LED kits for a bunch of kits. That could be the MGEX gimmick on like the 7th MGEX or something, when they get around to that, or something like that. Two of the Gundam card game summon boxes that come with 3 miniature Gunplas each. I'm curious to see where they go with that. I've seen some pictures, look pretty cool. Anime's taught me a trip. Trip to mountains can be free. You just need clothes on your back and grit. So do it though. Change permanent score arrow MGEX. Right, like that would be pretty cool. So Maverick Entity, I don't know if it's a line they expand, kind of like Warhammer Miniatures, or if it was a one shot and that's it. Probably depends on how well it does. Alright, F9. Card game for the tabletop games coming out next year. So PG Arc 78 gold play to go. We're at 7,000 this week in JP auctions. Crazy. Yeah, it is kind of nuts. I have a lot of other things I would spend 7,000 on before I did that. Get 10 PG news for that price. Right? Land's valuable, we can use it, but we can't make more of it, right? Well, it's not like a vehicle either. Like anything with wheels tends to lose value over time, not maintain or gain it. So if you're gonna put a whole bunch of money in something, it'd be better to put it in something that won't at least lose that value. Especially if that's all the spare money you had. I guess it's one thing if you have money to burn, but I think the idea is if you're buying something like that, you take whatever money it would be that you would spend on that thing, go through the thought exercise. If you put it in a big pile and set it on fire, how bad would that burn? If it would burn a lot, maybe you shouldn't buy that supercar or whatever. check out the nubs on this end. These pieces have some pretty big nubs on them. They're cleaning up better than I thought they would. Alright, so that. Alright, right arm, C8, 10, and 18 are next. Eight's 10, 18, got it. Alright. Kind of feeling good to be back snap building. Like making progress on all the other stuff, like the paint prep or panel lining, decals, stuff like that, but there's always something about snap building that is just kind of enjoyable and therapeutic. Maybe it's just the relative ease of the process. But it's always good to do some of that. Got a review request email yesterday that I could fill out. It was supposed to say on the Flex, cool. I like the Sandloop Flex. I feel like, I don't know, in general, any of the gun primer sanding stuff is pretty much game changing. Like cathartic purge of the week doing kits. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could get some more painting stuff done, but there's enough like barrier to entry to get started, and I don't have the stream to kind of force me to work on it every week. Hoping that maybe once the lawn stops growing so much, we'll get back to painting. Maybe get caught up this fall. Nick, what's been your favorite series to build? I don't know. Like Gundam series or like kit series? Did anyone sound the purge siren? What purge siren? Just got an airbrush for my birthday this week. Hoping to use it tomorrow after I get organized. That's cool. Sorry, I'm working through an MGBR right now. I'm going to take it all apart to repaint it. Look for older kits like the ARC 785. Do you know if they'll ever get restocked? If they get reprinted, which they likely will at some point, but kits are all done in batches, so it's just a matter of when they do another batch. The more popular a kit is, the more frequently they do batches, and it seems like they get on a run with a particular kit, and if the demand seems to be there, they just keep printing it until there's no longer any demand for it. I don't know. And then they cycle something else in. I wish they rotated stock more frequently, but it doesn't seem like it. Like the Witch from Mercury kits or Build Fighters, etc. Gotcha. Well, the one I've probably built the most from has been Witch from Mercury, since I've been working on the entire HG line. I mean, this is number whatever, 21. I think I've built all the ones previous to it. There's only a handful left to build from Witch from Mercury for me. Magnet Core. Yeah, I mean, there is that. I'm really curious how this top fans feature is working. It doesn't seem to be tracking with what I would expect. It doesn't seem like it's a straight EXP per message, comment, whatever, from what I can tell so far. Let's see. How many kits have you built? I mean, so it's like 20 or so, from which for Mercury I built 40 Maganacs, probably at least a dozen Master Grades, a few PGs. So without having an exact count, I would probably guess like 80 maybe. I got the P-Band exclusives as well. I did not. There's a few of them I wish I had, but I wasn't paying a ton of attention. I think the Demi Garrison is the one that I kind of wish I had. I'm not sure if there's any other ones. The ones that are more like side story ones, I'm not as interested in. Yeah, sure, got up to 75 pretty quickly. I haven't gained any since. Of course, it gives me more, right? Like I don't know what it's doing. If there's a lag factor going on, or do not like the new P-Bandai site, more cramped and slower. I haven't even checked it out since they changed it. 40 Magnacs, you don't need a manual for those anymore. It's muscle memory at this point. That is correct. I have, in fact, built a high-grade Maganac blindfolded. I did that right. I built the core as supposed to be one continuous charity stream, but it ended up being multiple due to my son's burns that weekend. But later on, I was able to build one blindfolded, which was kind of cool. Not sure if I could do that again today, but I could then. You ever thought about stocking a P-Bandai? We used to a long time ago. Now that it's available through US P-Bandai, the only place we can get it is the same place you can get it, from US P-Bandai, and therefore we would just have to mark it up, and it's a losing proposition. We're either killing goodwill because we've bought something out from underneath somebody that they could have just got at a better price directly from P-Bandai, or we are doing somebody a service by making it available after the fact, but have to rely on there being enough demand on the secondary market. So it's, I don't think, a great thing in any particular way. Well, you have an option to pay for EXP and gain the crowns. There's that too, I suppose, if anybody really wants it. I wonder what the ratio of that stuff is. Plot your morals and ethics on that. I mean, yeah, I feel like it's partially an ethics thing, and it's partially just a business thing. Like, why do I want to compete with them? You know, it doesn't make sense business wise, other than hoping that somebody misses it and wants it later. And like, I guess there might be some value there, but it was different when we had to get the stuff from P-Bandai Japan, and some people didn't know how to do that, or couldn't do that, couldn't be bothered to do that. And then that markup, makes sense because you're providing a service and you're getting stuff people might not be able to get otherwise. Remember the full backstory? What was the reason they don't allow dealers to sell the P-Bandai products too? So you could carry them, they just don't sell them to you, and I think it's because P-Bandai tends to be predominantly things that are more niche, and so it allows them to get the full margin, because it's direct, they get the part the shops would get, and they get the part that they would get, which makes sense to make a more limited run of kits. I feel like they also do it to try to make more money on things they think will be popular sometimes. But predominantly it's because it makes kits possible that wouldn't be possible otherwise financially. Nice thing, most P-Bandai kits don't easily go to stock anymore, which is nice. That's true. Most P-Bandai kits haven't really excited me otherwise. It's rough seeing MG Shin on my local for 150. It also reduces waste. That's true. Right, they know how many they need. They don't have to produce significantly more. It allows them to make sure that they're not going to be stuck holding the bag on something that might be less popular. Alright, so second draw of the night. Let's ask a question. It's maybe not a security question. Could have made money on HD Rose and HD Deathscythe Hell that they made P Bandai. Alright, let's do a number from 10 to 350 and answer the question, what new release that's upcoming is the next kit you are excited about? So what's the next kit you're excited about that's coming out, new kit? Remember, a number from 10 to 350. Remember, one number per person. Do not delete or change your number. We only ship to US addresses. You must be present to win. And your answer to the question and the number have to be the same comment for the valid entry. 10 to 350. And what upcoming release are you most excited about? Current PBNI pricing. I find it cheaper to get kits from second JP sources. GHGs specifically were able to be made more detailed because they're PE'd. Gotta be careful with the secondary sources now with the whole tariff thing, though. So I don't know how that factors in. Would have been lesser kits if they were retail. These two. This thing under here still is the Terrace JP. Oh, is that true? I thought that was going away. B1, B2. Only 800 from China made. Japan de minimis is going away in a couple years. Okay, so it's got a little bit of time. Or you're gonna stock the Fruity Robo Berry Fighter. What is that? Is that a nickname for something? I have no idea what that even is. Usually get extra what you pre-order, or once a pre-order sold out, that's it. So we typically, when we offered pre-orders, we would pre-order more, where we would sell less than the full complement, so we'd have spares in case something got damaged or lost in transit. So we typically have extras. We've basically all but decided to discontinue all new pre-orders going forward. We're looking at a system to make it so people can select in-stock notifications on items and stuff and have them listed in a like coming soon section. But we're pretty much avoiding new pre-orders going forward. It's not worth it. It's too much of a headache, and it makes a lot of things harder than it needs to be. Oh, it's fruit theme mechs like Pineapple Slasher, etc. Who makes them? I'm guessing probably not, because I'm assuming they're not Bandai. Can't remember, but yeah, not Bandai Fun Kits, very cartoon proportions. Yeah, we probably won't have them then. We're pretty much model kit wise, other than existing pre-orders, downshifting at the moment to Bandai and Kodo. We'll hopefully figure out some other stuff again in the future, maybe. But the main distributor we've been getting non-Bandai, non-Kodo stuff from has been a huge pain in the ass. And when we get the last stuff from them, that'll be it for working with them, because they're just god-awful to work with. And then we'll have to see if we can find an alternative source that doesn't make me suicidal. Okay, C6B18. Actually, I'm going to call time to do that first. You know, Mr. Color is substituted to produce the aqueous slime. My dad is also a hobby builder. Mentioned it's been hard to find. I believe it's because they stopped making it. I'm pretty sure they're still making it. They're just not good at predicting production, I think, and so it's not often available at our distributor until it is. So the colors that we don't have are most likely not in stock because they haven't been available, because we've been trying to grab some when we can. Okay, 10 to 350, 49. I think we might have a winner. RD DN. Okay, where was I at? C6B18. Okay, good deal. He said it's his favorite since cleanup is less painful. I've some myself, but haven't used it yet. Yeah, we've found in general, like, different distributors and different manufacturers have different supply chain issues, right? What's available when and how hard it is to get and all that kind of stuff. Mr. Color, Mr. Hobby, all that stuff, they seem to, and it might not be them, it's probably the distribution through the US Bandai branch, which distributes it, and they're just not good at stuff like that. You would think that they would have a pretty good idea of how much they need and order, ship, import, make that amount. Yeah, number was 49, and I think RDD End is our winner, but if we don't get confirmation that Artie's here. Oh, there he is. Okay. So Artie is here. Cool. So Artie, you can send an email to support@mechawarehouse.com and we'll ship that out to you this week. We do have those backup prizes, so we'll take some cracks at the backup prizes for the next draw. Fair enough, you'll be happy to hear that. I was actually visiting a localish hobby shop when I visited them recently, and they had less than half dozen colors available in the aqueous line. Yeah, and then scale that through shops having to get good at guessing what they need. I suppose if you're really good, you could predict ahead of time how long it'll be until it's available again, but I feel like not a lot of people are good at that, and it's a risky game to play, because then if you order too much, and the current shifting dynamics to this market put a lot of risk out there. Nice to be able to treat him to a gift or something I know he'll use, though. That's cool. I'll play the new Mecha break game. Those that make sick kits, I haven't or seen it for that matter. Sure, he knows you guys still had some. He's keeping an eye on your site now. Cool. We try to grab it when we can. It's just oftentimes all the colors aren't available. That's kind of true for other paint lines too. I feel like Vallejo Mecha color, whatever. That sometimes we can get whatever. Sometimes we can't. We're trying to right now keep the thinnest inventory and stuff that we can, so we're more efficient with our cash and such. And it's just challenging all around. That's good. I like a good arm bend here. Good arm articulation. Okay, C9, C11, C18. C11, C15, C4. Oh no. Is that a reference to something? Bingo. That's what we should do. We should C4 plastic explosives. You mean like the RG Zeta? That's what we should do. We should sell Mecha Warehouse live stream bingo cards, and then draw a bingo number every draw, or use the number when we do our draws to give away some bigger prize. I wonder if there's a legal hurdle to that, because it's probably like gambling if you have to buy in. I don't know, maybe actually that would be a good promo. We could stick them into orders or something. Place an order a certain week or something, you get your bingo card, and we use it for a certain stream or streams until we get there. That was like Nick drops a part, someone brings a Taco Bell. That would be funny too, actually. That would be funny too. Talking Mecha Warehouse itself. Where can I find the Discord? I tried a few months ago and couldn't find it. So it's not publicly listed anywhere. So if you've purchased from us before, you should have received an email and or a text with the link. And if you purchased and you haven't received that, you can always email support@mechawarehouse.com, and I'll gladly get you the invite link for that. Let's see. Unless the state runs it, that's not gambling. I know there's like raffle laws, right? If you do raffle tickets or something, you gotta like get a permit or something. And I think it's only for non-profits, maybe. I'm not sure exactly. TP has free space, right? Need to make a sticker of you with the helmet that's on the lower left hand of the screen. We made a sticker of that at one point. Maybe we'll resurrect it again. Speaking of stickers, I'm super frustrated. We're out of stickers. I ordered our stickers, our next batch, way long ago. Started charging me coming in. Our manufacturer for the stickers, their lead times have been growing a lot, and I ordered almost 3 months ago. The lead time was supposedly like 4 weeks. So I'm on their case about it, but I think I need a new sticker manufacturer. So if anybody knows any good sticker slap manufacturers, feel free to shoot me a note with that info. I gotta start doing my research. I have a big old stack of your stickers I can send you. I'm sure there's some people with a huge stack of stickers. Stickers, I can mail you back a bunch of my extras. I don't have a Gunpla problem, I swear. Yeah, I feel like there's some people out there with like 100 stickers sitting around. It's everywhere. Lead times are getting ridiculous for most things. Gunpla's never a problem, it's the question. I like that. Park World, there would be a sticker manufacturer just down the street from the warehouse that you just didn't know about, right? That'd be great if there was. When we first started seeing these increasing lead times, I thought about ordering a printing machine and just trying to do my own printing, but it seems like a lot more work than it's worth. Especially if I want to make stickers at a similar quality to these ones. They seem like they're really good. I mean, I've had some of these stickers on like my water bottle that's been through the dishwasher a number of times, and it still looks good, you know? I don't know if I could laminate stickers easily here. Economies of scale, hard to do it on your own. Yeah, I did some. I watched probably like a dozen hours worth of videos and tutorials on some of the smaller commercial grade printers and the techniques required and stuff. I was like, wow, maybe I can stand up a print shop in the corner and make my own stickers and start manufacturing stickers for members of the Gunpla community and use that as another business I could run. But then I talked myself out of it. I don't need any more businesses. So I got that B1, B3. Give me a time turner from Harry Potter if you're going to do any other side projects. Yeah, I've got too much going on as it is. I need a few less things going on. Could use a yeah, I don't know. There's so much stuff. And like when I was researching it, so like you can get machines that will print and cut. They'll do the cutting themselves. They'll do the printing, decent speed, get the cost, you know, to be actually not bad. Probably the same or cheaper than having someone else make them because I'm making them myself. Sounds like if you use the machine to cut its own stickers though, like that blade dulls really fast, so you ideally need a separate cutting machine that you can put the stickers on, and need the ability to register position to the other machine. And then if you really want to make them good, you need a laminating machine, which is another challenge. Get cost of ink. Yep, I was looking at all that. I did some pricing studies, and I think I could make it make sense financially. I just don't know that I would make enough stickers for ourselves to recoup that initial investment super fast. If we were selling stickers to other people, you know, like if you were a small-time Instagram builder or whatever, you wanted to have stickers made of your logo or whatever, like a lot of people do, we could do that kind of business on the side and make it easier to do small runs of custom stickers for things, which would be cool, but I'd have to do it. As your wife gives you a death stare. Yep, pretty much. And that's basically what kind of happened. I started researching all this stuff, and she's like, really? And kind of managed to talk myself out of it with her help. The boss music and Latin chanting in the background, right? Exactly. It was kind of cool when I was researching it, though. Like, you can do transfers for t-shirts with the same machines, the same printer or whatever, which would make it possible to do, like, small run custom t-shirts, too, which would be pretty cool. But, again, time and money. If those weren't cheap machines, it'd be a decent investment. Gotta find Q and Adeptus mechanics to run those machines. Representative said wife stare, and somehow I know I'm cooking with gas when I see it. Well, you said you got the bakery, right? Was that your idea, or did you get pulled into it? If you got pulled into it, then you know you're not the only one, I guess. You can be the giver of said stare. I just have the problem where I'm usually not the one who can stare back. pulled into it. Wife stare. Said starer is now listening. Uh-oh. You didn't want a happy marriage anyways, right? That's funny. I feel like I'm winning on the marriage side. She has a very nice stare right there. I think it's almost less of a stare and more of a audible eye roll, to be fair. I get away with a lot. More than I probably should. No takebacks, right? No takebacks. But that's not on behalf of our baker friend. That works too. Oh. Oh, man. All right. My wife's eye rolls cause tsunamis. I don't think I want to get married now. Marriage is like starting a business, right? My advice to anybody is don't ever start a business. And if you are in love with the idea of starting the business enough to ignore that advice, then you might actually be worth starting a business. And I'd say the same thing about marriage. Don't get married unless you feel so strongly about it that you want to ignore my advice. And then it probably makes sense. You know, I think that's what it comes down to, is you have to feel strongly enough about it. And if you do, then it's great. Or it isn't, but at least you signed up for it. Hey, you think starting business is a more common touchstone than getting married? Like, where is this going? Alright, so we got a backup prize. So let's figure out my number range here. Still have some Hobby Zone backup prizes. So I'm trying to think of exactly how to ask this question. I don't know if the world is ready for that question. Maybe I'll think of something else. Luckily for me, I'm forever alone. Unluckily, that includes being stuck with the folks as well. They do more than death stares. Well, there's that too. Definitely that too. Ask your question. We are not afraid. Well, I want to ask something related to have you ever considered starting a business or something like that, but I think there's a better way to ask it, so I'm going to chew on that one for a while. I got one. All right, so let's do a number between 10 and 150, and what kit are you building now? Either literally right now or the work in progress that's sitting on the other side of the room that you haven't touched in a while. But so number between 10 and 150, and what is your current build? Number one, number per person. Do not delete or change your number. We only shipped US addresses. You must be present to win, and your answer to the question and the number have to be in the same comment for your valid entry. 10 to 150, and what is your current build? It's actually really, really good advice. Thanks. I think it's true though, like, especially after, I mean, technically Mecha Warehouse is what, like, business number like 4 or 5 for me. The other ones with various levels of success before that. And, you know, people will ask me about starting a business. What should I do? It's like, really what you should do is think about whether you really want to and figure out how to test that theory out, because starting a business is tough. Since 51 just got picked, you can have the same number as someone else if we have a duplicates. We'll flip the coin or use some other random method to disambiguate the numbers selected. But for the most part, most people are not cut out for running a business. Sometimes I think I'm not cut out for running a business. So on my worst days running a business, I certainly wouldn't wish that on basically anybody. So you have to want it bad enough to deal with when it sucks, which is going to be a decent amount of the time. Because running a business kind of sucks. It can be great, but there's times when it sucks too. It's a lot easier to be an employee. And you want to figure that out before you get deep in enough that it's hard to get out. Maybe 2, you can just decide to not go. Owners get no breaks, right? I mean, you can decide to not go running your own business too, but when that happens, bad things can happen. And if people rely on you, it's even worse. I can't call in sick per se the same way I can with my day job. Have you seen The Bear? Is basically about a restaurant owner who inherited a business from his dead brother. No, I haven't. Is that like a show or something? Reality show or something to that effect? Oh, I should have cut out this twice, so I'll get the other one in a second here. Never thought secondhand stress was really real until I saw that. Still in a silkscreen t-shirt shop, and a lot of workers wanted to their own. I let them shadow me and try to help figure out the money problems. After that, they weren't so inclined. You were steering into, and that's how the fight started territory earlier. If I don't cover bakers, my staff has nothing to sell, so they don't get paid. Nothing like working corporate all week and then a surprise weekend baking schedule, right? I was thinking the same thing. The Bear is a dramedy on Hulu, pretty decent. Great shoe if you're looking to relax, maybe not the best thing to watch. Oh, great show. Maybe that's what that was supposed to be. Okay, I'll cut the other P16 and 21 again. A lot of themes dealing with why people do the things they do, including following your dreams. Maybe that main character has nice shoes. Try to type in sand. Yeah, I mean, owning a business is great on paper. It's great in theory. I mean, and it can be great in practice too. But there are going to be bad days. And I feel like the bad days when you own and run a business are often worse than the worst days as an employee. It's a lot easier to quit your job if you don't like something. Gaia, Mash, and Rambar, and the wish list they get rotation. Like there's a bunch of Origin kits that would be great if they got printed again. It have been a few years at least. All right, let's call time here and see if we have a winner. So the range 10 to 150, I think. $71. I don't see a 71. I'll let you guys confirm. And if that's the case, then we'll make one more attempt at the end of the stream. Has there been any word about an increase in price of the Lager Panzer pre-order yet? Currently, there are no plans to increase prices, surcharges, whatever, on existing pre-orders. I think I mentioned last week we have a batch of Kodo pre-orders on the way. They're catching up the ones that were on hold. The increases are down at a level where we're not losing our shirt by not increasing those prices, which is a good thing. I feel like that's also kind of a factor with the uncertainty there on the pre-orders front, why we don't want to continue offering pre-orders. We'd rather just sell them when they come in, because if we have to increase prices, we can without dealing with people having already purchased them. Because who knows what that'll look like 6 months from now. All right, 15 and 22. The biggest killer, I'd say, though, on pre-orders in general, and that is the accounting side of things. The fact that an item is sold today and then we have to pay for it in 6 months means this month looks better because we have more revenue and less cost, and the future month looks worse because it has less revenue and more cost. And it's a challenging problem, especially without investing in crazy accounting software and methods and stuff that require a lot of time and energy or expense in the tools to do better in a just Grover's cash-based right. Cash-based is better for a small business in a lot of ways because then you're not paying taxes on things that you, for a lot of businesses anyway. I'm not even sure if it makes the most sense for what we're doing now, but we use a cash-based method because our accountant likes that. But trying to individually track essentially individual purchases and items is more labor intensive. Especially if the tools don't natively support tracking it that way for you. Same with the fireworks business. Money goes out in the fall and winter. Mostly comes in the end of June, beginning of July. Yeah, but that's probably your purchasing inventory, I would imagine. That's on the shelf until it sells, which is a little bit different and simpler to track. It's challenging when you have to attribute a sale to a different month. My business is not complex like yours, but a pain in the butt. If you can differentiate your bank account, pre-orders start with XYZ or whatever, you can export and send it to your accountant. Right, we haven't found a good way of doing that yet. But it's tough because then you never really know how well you're doing in a lot of ways. Pitching for next year's shows. We don't have many wholesale accounts to differentiate, right? But you're also not I feel like it's the sales side of things, not the purchases. Purchases are relatively easy to pay attention to because you put money out, inventory hasn't arrived yet, so you have a handful of invoices like that or POs or whatever you want to call them that you can track, and it's essentially inventory for tax purposes, even if it's not in your warehouse or in your shop yet. But when it's sales, that one line item for your ordering might turn into 30 items in terms of sales because it's 30 separate orders. It's a lot harder to track, and it's been creating headaches in the past. With the headaches side of running the business, Nick, I know I certainly appreciate the challenges behind that. Yeah, it is what it is, but wouldn't mind not having to deal with that. We had fun this week too because the Kodo being on its way means that we invoiced for balances due, and we haven't had to do that for a couple months because we haven't had pre-orders arriving for a couple months, and something in the app we use for pre-orders broke or something, and I think it sent the balance emails to a lot of people whose pre-orders are not arriving. Probably received an email about that if you were affected, I think, or potentially affected. We're a wholesaler as well. Our retail caterers buy from us. Yeah, your volume is book of business is way more complex. Yeah, which is funny because I started the business thinking like, oh, I need a stupid simple business to run. I thought consulting was hard, but from a pure business and accounting perspective, consulting is super easy. Invoice 1 to a handful of clients each month. Pay staff if you have it, or subcontractors if you have it. It was relatively, not even relatively, just absolutely stupid simple, thinking about it retroactively. It was just more complicated and harder to do from a sales perspective, I think, because it's a more direct bid and proposal, try to find a client that can afford and need your type of services. and trying to manage resources versus customer need. That was the hard part. Trying to commit to work that you could do immediately, but you couldn't do immediately. That always got me. All right, so I think we need to do one more attempt for the this Hobby Zone backup prize. So that's all like being a project manager. Yeah, the consulting side was more like that. You do it on your own, or were you with E and Y or the like? What do you mean by E and Y? I don't know if I'm familiar with that. Okay, so let's do... I need a good question. Oh, I got one. Okay. Ernst & Young. Still not really familiar. So I did engineering consulting, so it was myself. And then briefly for like a year, my brother was working for me, and I used a subcontractor or two from time to time, but it's basically writing software for clients. Okay, so let's do a number from 10 to 50, and what is your most craveable food? Like, what food do you crave the most? What's that food that makes you drool? 10 to 50, what's your most craveable food? One number per person. Do not delete or change your number. We only ship to U.S. addresses. You must be present to win. And your answer to the question and the number have to be in the same comment for it to be valid entry. Again, 10 to 50, and what is your most craveable food? It worked out pretty well when I did it, because in a lot of ways it basically let me jump the salary ladder as a relatively young engineer. I started consulting like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years into my career. It allowed me to charge significantly more than I would have made as an employee at the time. It worked well in a lot of ways because the place I started my career, a lot of people, after I kind of left for my second regular W-2 job, ended up kind of going off into the wind because of changes at that company. Resulted in a lot of people I knew and worked with being in, say, management positions somewhere else, and I knew my reputation for my work, and it made it easy. It was, I referred to it as the dandelion effect. You know, the seeds went everywhere, and it was basically I'd work a year here, work a year and a half there, do 6 months this other place. But it was also dependent on somebody needing me at the time. B24, C13. And so it got stressful when there wasn't work lined up. And so I tried to get more clients. I was trying to move in the direction of doing more like full product design stuff as opposed to just, you know, code slinging for hire or whatever. Our friend threw a seat everywhere. His wife was pissed. Oh man. And so I tried to go that way, and then had a rough year before I started tinkering with the model kit business stuff. But it's kind of difficult if you're like doing competitive bids against multiple other vendors and stuff. A lot of places will promise stuff or cut their estimates to be really competitive. And if you try to have a reputation for hitting your stuff, it's hard to do that. So you got to either overpromise or whatever, lose business sometimes, and It's just difficult. I did enjoy that part. Plastic crack took a grip forevermore. I don't know, maybe, but I'm back working a W-2 job as an engineer again, so I'm on the other side of that. In the day job, lots of overpromising. Yeah, it's pretty common. The current day job, we have a subcontractor that I think overpromised a lot of stuff, and it's been causing problems. But I wasn't involved at the beginning to be like, yeah, they're probably bullshitting you. You know, they're not going to actually hit that. Sometimes someone too far away from the work trying to make bonus decisions right. Yeah. Can I change my number? Someone else has the same number. I wouldn't. Please don't. If that number gets called, we'll flip a coin or roll some dice or something to see which of you wins. An executive unilaterally canceled a work agreement for a product we were using. Then she showed up in a meeting for a competitor after she quit her company. Oh my god. That's a little sketchy. I love repoing cars. I get to be an asshole if I want. Yeah, that sounds not too bad. And you don't really have to deliver. Well, I guess you are delivering the car back to whoever's asking you to repo it, but you're really just taking and not giving. It's more about taking than delivering. Licensed car thief. Yeah, basically. That sounds pretty cool. Maybe coffee. What's the question? What's your most craveable food? I think that's how I phrased it. Kind of like being like a bail bondsman or something would be an interesting job too. You're basically a licensed kidnapper, right? Carbs. Someone who skipped eating today. This question hits hard. Skipped intentionally, like you're fasting for health or religious or, you know, weight loss or whatever reasons, or skipped because you were too busy or missed. I realized when he asked it, I'd eaten like 10 hours. Wow. You waited too long to go to the store and now everything's closed. That could be possible too. Noticed folks were fighting so much I decided to haul up in the room all day. Enough the previous day that I do not feel hungry, oddly enough. Interesting. I feel like what happens to me sometimes is there's just not any food in the house. You know, just waited one day too many before going grocery shopping, you know. 8, 9:30 a.m. now I gotta make food. Thanks, Nick, making me take care of myself. That's what I'm here for. Alright, I'm going to call time here. Guess feet is where it's at. Next time we could pick up on the legs. Alright, so time is called. There may be some mind effects of finding out one of my teeth has a gum infection of some sort. I'm reluctant to agitate it. I could see that too. Something plastic crack and nurturing self-care. Well, the best way to keep people coming back is keeping them alive and healthy. If you're in the hospital, you're not building. If you're not building, you're not buying kits, right? It's, well, some people buy kits and don't build. Plastic crack needs bumper stickers now. I need to really film the joke ads I was going to do at one point with the trench coat. Alright, anyway. Number 40. Let's see if we have a 40. I don't see a 40. I'll let you guys confirm that's the case. Then I guess our backup prize lives to fight another day. No winners. Alright, well, it's a backup prize, so we're not going to do the million draws to give it away. So I think that is where we're at for tonight. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys had a good time. We should be back next week, right? What's next week? Yes, next week we will be back. Same time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Probably pick up where we left off on this kit and give something else away. Don't forget, we do have that 20% off select items sale running this weekend. So take a look if you haven't yet. Maybe find yourself something good at a good price. And yeah, I think that's it. So have a good evening, everyone.